Hi everyone, it's Adrian Vermaak. This is part 10 to my leadership series, and it has been a great journey for me to have interacted with you in this manner, and also the feedback that I've received. And all in all, I think you and I can go forward on this matter, building on these fundamentals and to give it the best that we can in leading others and leading ourselves well. Today I'm dealing with a topic that is a delicate one, but a very important one, and that is how to manage conflict to the best of our abilities. I feel that if we react less and respond more, we can see the positivities come out of this matter. Ultimately, we want to see growth and we want to achieve our goals. We want to achieve what we've set out to achieve. And I feel conflict is part and parcel of the process. It's not easy, but if we can turn it towards the direction we're going towards and strengthening our relationships, I feel we get the best out of it. So what is conflict? Conflict has many different aspects to it. Some of the key ones are disagreements, disappointments, unmet expectations, which then lead to hurt, and then this thing called anger comes out, which we don't want to get there, but it does happen. And so it is a maturing process in one's leadership. It's a maturing process for one in managing those pains and those disappointments. And we want to lead in a way where we are discerning, we are helping our teams, and we are leading in a way where we bring about dignity to these processes. So what is something that someone mentioned to me once, and it always just stuck in my thoughts, is that the process goes like this. There's a norming, there's a storming, which is the conflict situation, norming, storming, forming, performing. And I just love that. It's really summarized it. We start off, we connect with one another, we're building towards something, and we lead to the best of our ability. But the reality is we get into storming situations, perhaps in our leadership style, or we have not met expectations from those that we are leading. And even within amongst the team, there could also be storming situations. And then what we want to do is form. We want to process those conflicting situations such that we begin to form stronger relationships. And I feel communication is important, to interact, to discuss those things where things have not worked out as one expected, or whatever the situation may be. And we want to do it within a dignifying process. We don't want to shame anyone. We don't want to create an undignifying situation. So sometimes, and very differently, I like the aspect of meeting one-on-one and talking with the relevant people, where the conflict is, in a way where you can create peace. And sometimes it's great to take it out of a work situation or out of the working environment into a neutral place where it's nice and calm and peaceful, and we can talk these things out. And I always focus on the vision, what we're aiming for, and building that camaraderie to try and overcome the conflict and pointing it towards what we want to achieve and creating some momentum out of that conflict. I know it sounds easy the way I'm saying it, and every situation is different. Every situation needs wisdom and needs discernment and outworking it to the best that we can. But we want to create this performing culture that we've outworked some things. And I know personally, the conflicts that I've gone through has actually strengthened my relationships with others. And if we get through some stuff, we really bond, we build. And this is what we want to get to. We want to get to those kind of scenarios. So different things that happen is you might find there's a lose-lose, which we don't want. There's a win-lose, and we also don't want that, because the person that loses out, we find that perhaps they're not as in it as we want them to be, and we want to keep up this thing called camaraderie. And then there's the win-win situations, and that's what we want. We both want to win. Sometimes as I've spoke about this to someone else recently, where, you know, if you've been hurt or your expectations haven't been met, maybe just wait a bit, think it through, and you may realize that you overreacted in your thinking, and then there's no need to engage or to deal with this conflict. And that could be what we call avoiding the conflict by just processing it yourself. But if you don't find you overcoming in your thinking, then it's great to talk about it and to go to the person that's leading you, or the person in your team that you felt like, hey, you haven't gone on with this situation, and hopefully you can talk it through with those involved and outwork it after you've contemplated your unmet expectation. You know, and so that's just something to mention. And you don't want to go into conflict saying, hey, I want to win this thing. And I know we want to win it, but if you can go in there just to be humble, talk it through, and then to get that win-win situation will be great. Those are just some aspects of how people deal with it. We want to interact and we want to get that best possible situation. And then finally to say that as leaders we want to mature in these processes, because the more we mature, the better we get at it, and we can take our teams forward. And I feel even those that take up leadership roles, this for me is a key aspect. If there's maturity in managing people and dealing with conflict so as to bring harmony, to bring that cohesion, to achieve the goals of that team. And this to me is very, very important. This maturity and the discernment, how to train your team, how to lead yourself and to bring about better situations out of conflict. And I mentioned training, and I think this is also a very good thing to do, to go on training and to learn to better oneself in these matters. It's been great chatting with you, and I really trust that this would be a reflective time for you and your teams, and a good discussion point as to how to do things better in this area. Great chatting with you. All of the best. I have one more to go on this series. I look forward to doing it. Cheers. Bye.